Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme, and I'm with Laura Hernandez. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you, Tom. Good to see you.
And we're doing a City Council review from May 17.
May 15th.
Excuse me, May 15th, 2017. And we're going to review what went on at that meeting. And it was one of the better meetings that I've been to, in that there were a number of issues covered.
Right.
And they were well discussed, and I think we have some good information for you. And we'll just go back and forth and cover it. You want to start it off?
Sure, we're going to cover the highlights of the May 15th meeting. I think it started off with an inspirational message by Sharon from the Cultural Pavilion here in Hueneme. And she basically gave us a lot of information about the events that are occurring there. But what I walked away with was her comment having to do with changing the name of the city of Port Hueneme to Hueneme Beach. And I think that's an interesting concept that may have some traction if there's some follow-up and interest in pursuing that name change.
I took that and talked to various people over the week out at the beach, at the golf course, various places, and they were interested in it. And most of the criticism was, well, Port Hueneme doesn't tell people that there's a beach here.
Right.
And we talked to the president of the Chamber of Commerce last week on an interview here, and she mentioned about wanting to increase tourism and ways of doing it, and letting people know that this is a beach town is the first step. So we just want to throw it out there that it has been brought up. Any feedback you have, we'd like to hear about, and we'll see where it goes down the road.
Stay tuned for that. I'm sure there'll be more discussion about that. Well, did we miss the Housing Authority meeting?
No, it was in that.
Okay.
It was about Mar Vista.
Right.
And the Mar Vista, it's a city-owned housing for lower income people, and they have had many issues there over the years. And the last time we discussed this, the city had formed a much better relationship with Mar Vista, and a few things had been done, such as the police are around there more. There's been trying to set up a little bit more security at night, and they had another discussion about that. And what did you hear from them?
Well, I think the Mar Vista residents who addressed the city council seemed to walk away pleased that there was going to be some improvements made at the Mar Vista apartments, and that there would be some capital improvements made, and the smoking issue was going to get resolved. So hopefully that's positive news, and we'll see some efforts being made there.
Yeah, there's a number of things in the meeting area down below. They needed the heater upgraded. They were interested in some handicap parking spaces out there. So the city has agreed to look into that, and they have a real good relationship now of checks and balances to make sure what was said is going to be done is done, and so far they're pleased with it. So I want to thank Carmen Nichols, Rod, and the City Council for working with these people and making it a better place to live.
Right, and the Housing Authority.
Yes.
Right.
Next was Stephen Gama talked about the beach erosion, and it was a unique presentation in that he had drone pictures,
right,
where the drone flies over the beaches, and he's been saying for at least almost a year that the sand erodes much quicker at Port Hueneme than at Silver Strand, and the drones show that the Silver Strand beach the sand is just totally out from shoreline to street level, just perfect. And Hueneme, he showed a before and after where it's eroded, I think he said by like 30–40%. And so he's going to use that to try to bring it to people's attention.
Right. So coastal erosion has been a problem for a long time. along our beach, and he was trying to illustrate the difference between the sand levels at Silver Strand and Hollywood Beach versus what we have here in Hueneme. So hopefully this is just a step toward making some progress in that area so that we can hopefully abate the erosion problem and get some cooperation from the Harbor District and the county. All right, the new city attorney was sworn in, and I'm getting a frog in my throat.
Charlie Green.
What's that?
Charlie
Green was sworn in as our new attorney. And the thing that I noticed, what I really liked, was the fact that he doesn't see problems. He sees problems as challenges, and I really like that attitude. So I'm going to give this to you while I clear my throat.
Okay. He talked about how he he's a solutions person. You know, he recognizes the problems and works towards a solution. And he has a very good background in civic stuff, in the beach area. He's worked with various cities over the years and is very familiar with the inner workings and how to deal with these. So he's just been on board. This is his second meeting, I think. Well, it was his first meeting. He was introduced, and we had another meeting on cannabis that he was very well informed on and took control of. So he will be very hands-on, and I think it'll be something that will be of benefit to the city.
Great. Welcome, Charles Green. Do we call him Charles or Charlie?
He goes by Charlie.
Okay, welcome, Charlie.
The next item that was brought up was the Copacabana Beach Soccer Tournament.
Right.
Have you ever been down there and seen
I
that?
have, and it draws quite a crowd. I think it's a real good thing for the city, business-wise, to have families
From all over.
From all over bring their kids and join in these soccer tournaments and frequent the snack bar there and pay for their parking, and it's a good way to use our beach. It's a good utilization of our beach assets.
It's a 2-day event, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. They draw from all over Southern California, some up the Central Coast, and this is for a 5-year contract, and they will put on approximately, I think it was 4 tournaments a year, based on what's going on with their soccer tournaments that they have and the time of year, and hopefully a nice weather.
Right.
Many times it seemed like they're there at the windiest week of the year sometimes, but you have to admire these kids that want to get out and run in the sand, and that sand is soft and it's difficult to walk in sometimes. Right. So but they enjoy it, and we appreciate the business that they bring here, and this is the type of stuff that we really want to look into as to how we can make more use of the beach, and again, back to Hueneme Beach.
Right.
The name change.
Good thing for the beach. Good thing for our city.
Yeah. Here's an item. The next. Did you want to talk about the finance report?
Well, all I can say to that is that our finance director provided information on the 2015-16 City of Port Hueneme audit report, and basically the audit report indicated what was budgeted for last year and what was actually spent. And we're still operating at a deficit according to the information provided through the audit report. I know we'll hear more as the budget is being discussed beginning of June. More information will be provided, and I understand you're going to do an interview with our finance director, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
All the new department heads will be interviewing.
Great. So more details to be provided then.
The new department head, Don Villafana, talked about the changes that were going to be made at Miranda Park.
Right.
The overall park is going to be redone over, say, the next 9 months or so. There's a good amount of money that will go into fixing up the park, the facilities, and the tennis courts. Currently, their project that they could get going right away, hopefully as soon as possible to make it available to the citizens is they're going to resurface 4 tennis courts.
Oh, that's great.
It's a start.
Terrific.
And they need to be resurfaced, not patched anymore. They've been patched a number of times, and so they need a good solid surface in there because it does draw tennis players, and there's a couple tennis tournaments that come in and bring people into Port Hueneme. And so I think their plan is they're going to start doing that July 27th, and hopefully by September 30th they will have them completed, and they will be up for use for the people to use. And then as the weather permits after that, and as they're able to, they have to get bids to do all this work.
And that takes time.
And it has to meet certain criteria. Then they will finish the project. But the beach and Miranda Park are 2 of our big attractions.
Great. Good news. Things are improving.
We're getting stuff done.
That's
yes.
terrific. The chief of police went ahead and provided an outlook on the city's crime situation, and provided a very good report on where we are with our crime statistics. He reported that unlocked vehicles continue to be a problem, that residents need to make sure that they lock their vehicles and that they make sure to remove items from the front seat of their cars, from the back seat of the cars. Don't leave anything there that's going to tempt somebody to want to break into your vehicle. He did a comparison report between last year's crime statistics and this year's crime statistics, and we found that crime actually went down by 35%, which is very good. Property crime also went down by 34%. So we should all be pleased by the good work of our Port Hueneme Police Department. He also produced or provided to the council his vision and priorities for the next year. And these are his strategic goals for the department and for the city. He wants to emphasize the department has a professional organization. That's one of the lead goals. He wants to, of course, reduce crime. He wants to focus on traffic and pedestrian safety. To achieve is increase community engagement, and we've already seen him out in the community, the youth involvement fair, and he's agreed to do a meet and greet this evening, in fact, and an interview with Hello Port Hueneme. He's attending a lot of different events, so he's already making a real positive effort to engage the community and make himself available to residents. Real good sign.
This beach maintenance improvement was brought up, and this is something that I think goes back close to 7-8 months ago when it was first brought up, that Jeremiah Blackburn,
right,
came up and said, "Come on, guys, the bathrooms are filthy. Can't you go out there and clean them up?" And he came back 3 weeks later and said, "Hey guys, you haven't done anything yet." And so still not much had been done, but a plan was put into action to get the money by the city manager and the city council. And they do have a plan now. And the first step of it was that they cleaned up the bathroom at the junction of Surfside Road and Ventura, where they run in together, where all the flags are. There is a small restroom in there, and they painted it inside. They patched up the floor. They cleaned the wash basin and the urinal. They put a better security screen to where people couldn't climb in, and it is an improvement.
Great.
And there are big plans for the restroom down at the pier.
Great.
That needs a major overhaul, and they are talking about what hours they may close it or whatnot, adding a porta potty for after hours. So they're looking into doing the best they can, and how to most effectively use the money and do that.
Well, I hope they do that soon, because summer's basically here, just about.
And they have upgraded and I think increased the weekly cleaning of the
make a difference.
of the bathrooms, and we're going to keep an eye on it. And but it is a start for so many things that the city council is under the strategic action plan has planned to do, And we're just having to get the infrastructure set up to work with all these things, and it's starting to show.
So we've watched it come from a citizen's complaint all the way to actual improvements made. May have taken a little time, but
Less time than before.
yeah, less time than before. That's a positive thing. So very good. Okay,
So
I think that's it.
thank you guys for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next City Council review.
Bye.